This is the first time I'm actually sharing this story publicly. And the time I got to the school, the entire place was empty. It was just the teachers and everybody, all the teachers were just looking at me like an irresponsible mother. It was that day I knew I'd gotten myself into trouble. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't seen the part 1 of this video, please go and check it out. I'm going to be continuing from where I stopped. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do well to hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you get notified each time I put out turn on your post notifications so you get notified each time I put out a new video. So I'll be continuing the story of why I changed my kids' school twice in 1 month. True life story, guys. So catch up with the first and let's continue. Watched where I did my hair. I'll be applying my makeup. I have to go out, so I'll be applying my makeup while we talk. So I called the proprietor of the former school where they attended, and so just to be sure if she had plans for the session. She didn't talk well. I wasn't comfortable with her response. At that point, I just decided that I'm going to change the school. All right, I just decided I was going to change the school. So I started looking for school. A lot of people gave me recommendations. Of course, everybody wants me to come to their kids' school. So I started scouting and I found this one that I really liked. First, the school looked really organized, more organized than where I was coming from. I love their uniform. They have a school bus. So I was thinking cases where I can't pick my kids from school and they will help me bring the kids home and all and all and all. The other school does not have a school bus, so I love the classroom. Everything was just looking really nice, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is my last bus stop. Meanwhile, I've checked a lot of schools before I got to this one. So I decided I was going to stay here. And then I told my husband their fees were almost the same thing as what we're paying in their old school. So I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty, that's not too much. So when my husband got home that evening, I told him I'd found a school for our kids and we had to go check it out together. And he loved it. I didn't know I was making a mistake. Let's keep going. You guys are going to find out why I said it was a mistake. Their uniforms were beautiful. They had 4 uniforms. So I'm actually not, washing uniform every day, or it's the same thing with their old school actually. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's 4. Schools these days, they have so much. So we paid. I started noticing their rigidity from the beginning, but I just felt my kids are here to learn. If they can give me what I'm looking for, I don't really care how anybody reacts or behaves. That's not why I'm here. So we registered them and they started. First week, they told us that they were going to be picking the kids by 12. Wow, that came as a shock because, of course, how am I going to pick the kids by 12? It was hard for me. So when I close, I'll pick them and take them to my office. That's how they will scatter all my things. I will yell and yell and yell, and then we'll go home, and that's the end of the day for me. So I did that the first week. 12 o'clock was inconvenient at all. So we did that for the first week, guys. I got the shocker of my life. At the end of the first week, they told me that there's a hairstyle. It was my fault because I didn't ask them um, if the school decides hairstyle. Where we're coming from, they don't ask for hairstyle, just do something nice for your child, which was very good for me because my daughter has a very full and long hair. If you have been following my channel, you have seen my daughter's hair. No doubt, you know that kind of hair is not a hair you want to be doing every week. Every week, I said, no, I can't do that. So I demanded to see the proprietor of the school to explain that the only thing I can do is thread. The only thing that I actually do for my daughter is thread. One, thread helps the hair to grow. Secondly, thread stretches the hair out because the hair is really full. Another thing is the thread lasts longer for me because she carries the thread for 3 weeks. Her hair is not something you want to be opening all the time, you know. So guys, the makeup I'm doing today, I don't understand it, but let's just continue. I have to leave the house. So whatever I do, I take it like that. This is not professional at all. I'm actually not a professional makeup artist, but I used to try more than this, but let's say it turns out in the end. So I met with the owner of the school. I explained everything to her. She said she's not going to allow the threading, that she will only allow me to keep it for 2 weeks. She only allow me to keep it for 2 weeks, but she can't allow me to decide hairstyle. Wow. I'm like, okay. So I was still dealing with that. I had not decided what I wanted, how I'm going to handle that. And then they started giving, the second week, they started giving my kids assignments. I noticed that what they were teaching my kids were not what I wanted. Meanwhile, before they accepted my daughter to the school, they said she was too young, that she was too small. I told them she was going to KG2. They said no, that she was too small to go to KG2. So when it was time, because they were doing the online learning, and me, I was sure my daughter can pass any exam because she had a lesson teacher during the pandemic. So when they wanted to do the exams for their KG1 pupils, they invited us to bring our daughter for the interview, like the exam, which we did, and of course she blew their minds and they accepted her into KG2. All right, when I started giving her assignments, I wasn't comfortable because I felt they were taking her back. By the time she resumed the school, she was reading 3-letter words. At the time she joined the school, she was reading 3-letter words. And when the school resumed, first week, second week, they were telling her to write A to G. A to G was what they asked her to do as assignments. The first day, the second day, the third day went by. That week passed. So I felt, okay, it's revision. Let it not look like I was but I wasn't happy at all. And what made it worse was there was a WhatsApp group for the old school. They didn't remove me from the group, so I saw the activities that they were doing in the former school. I was like, this old school were doing pretty well, and I'd gotten information that they got new teachers, like they got very good teachers from some of these big schools. So I felt really bad. I was thinking, should I remove my children? And I paid the fees. So it was a tough decision. A lot of things was going through my mind, like how am I going to tell my husband? Because of course he's going to be the one to bring out the money. You know, how am I going to tell him that, oh, the decision you asked me to make, I didn't make it well. I think we should take the kids back to this old school. He will not agree. So I was really feeling bad. So I went to their school, I complained, and I said, Ada, I don't like what you're teaching my daughter, that she's doing better than this. She's reading three-letter words already. Why are they giving her, um, telling her to write A, B, C, D? You know, it wasn't nice. I met the proprietor. She was just talking and talking and talking and talking. I was sad. I was really sad because at that point, I knew I made it. I knew I made a mistake, but how do I now correct it? So I was thinking, and of course, when you don't have the money to take such decisions, you can't take it like that. So I got home one day. I was sad. Seems like I wanted to cry. Women and their tricks. I was acting like I wanted to cry. My husband was like, why are you like this? What's going on? I said, I've made a mistake. My husband was like, what mistake? I said that the school we changed was not a good idea. He was like, oh, it's not bad now that he has been seeing the activities they were teaching the kids in the group. And I said, no, babe, that's not the new school. That's the old school. They didn't remove us from the group. And he was like, of course, he understood what I was saying. And then I brought out my daughter's homework and I showed it to him. I'm like, this is what they are teaching in the old school where we left, and this is what they are teaching your daughter right now. And oh, I should give them time. I said, oh, I should just wait for this session, what's it called, session or term, this term to be over. Since he just paid the fees, we can't allow it. So I told him, I said, it's 3 weeks now since our kids joined the school, that I think is a good idea if we leave now. Of course, if we leave now, because if they get used to this new school, it will be hard for us to just move them to the old school, because at this point they still remember some of their old schoolmates. My daughter still remembers some of her friends from the old school. She asks about them. She hasn't really made friends in this new school, you know. So I told him it was best for us to move now instead of moving, you know, later. So he kind of disagreed because, of course, the money is coming from him, and I quite understand. I quite understand his sentiments and everything, but I knew my kids cannot continue in that school, never, because they were very rigid. They were not ready to listen. They were about explaining why they are doing what they are doing. They are following curriculum, blah blah blah. Like the curriculum is backward for us. So another thing I didn't actually like was, I remember there's an event that happened. There was a day I had a meeting, so I didn't pick my kids on time. They have every week they were increasing the pickup time. So by the second week, they had increased the pickup time to 1 o'clock. So on this particular day, I had a meeting, and I came to pick my kids at about 2. And the time I got to the school, the entire place was empty. It was just the teachers and everybody. All the teachers were just looking at me like an irresponsible mother. Was that day I knew I'd gotten myself into trouble. Because the former school, you can actually leave your kids till 5. All you need to do is pack extra food for your kids. That's it. They can put on the TV to keep them entertained or something for you before while you come. There were times where I had to travel or something. They took my kids home for me with their personal car. So I knew I'd entered trouble. So the next day I went, after that day event, the next day I went to negotiate with them on how they can help me keep my kids. And they said I was going to pay 20,000 naira extra because they don't have any kids in the crèche. So if any teacher is going to stay behind, the teacher must be paid 20,000 naira extra. And I didn't quite like it because, of course, my kids will be the only kids in the school. I don't want it. so I didn't take it. So plus the hair, the a lot of people who know the story will be wondering, because this is the first time I'm actually sharing this story publicly. This is the first time I'm actually sharing this story publicly. So I didn't really say exactly why I made that decision. So by this time I was bent on leaving. I said I must leave. And of course, because they have their old uniforms, I'm not going to pay for uniforms or anything like that. So I was the first person I needed to convince was my husband, and to some extent I've done a good job in convincing him that we'll take the kids out of this school. So everything was not just working for me as I planned, and I didn't want, because ideally we would have just waited for our money to, you know, expire per se before we leave, because I just paid them money. But I told my husband that let's not just look at this money at this time. Let's look at our children, you know, and what they're going to do. They'll be behind by the time they get back to the old school. And the reason why I left the old school has been sorted out. They have good teachers now. I don't need a private teacher or anything. According to my friends who remained, who were still there, they were telling me that, oh, I should bring my kids back there. So I called the proprietor of this school. I told her, I said, oh, you were going to have a good teacher. I called you the day I wanted to make this decision about if you have a good teacher. You didn't respond well. So she was telling me that day I called, she was going through a lot of things. That is why she didn't respond well. That I'm her friend. Why would I think that she would not respond to me? I said, well, that was the vibe that I got. I just felt you didn't want to talk to me or something. She said, no, never. So I told her that she has to help me, that I'm thinking of bringing my kids back to the school. She was excited. Because at that time, everybody was even asking, like, where are your kids? They were quite popular. Yeah. Where are your kids? You know, so I met with her. I told her that I'm bringing back my kids. She didn't have a problem with him. So I told her the situation, how we have already paid in this old school. I don't even know what I'm doing, guys. I'm just doing something. I just needed to get out of here. I'm already late for my appointment. So explained to her and everything, and she was like, cool, let's talk. So we met, and you know, of course she subsidized based on we're old students now. She made some adjustments and everything, and I told my husband that, oh, this is what we have decided to do. I was like, cool. So in other school, we started off by not allowing them go the first day. They called in the evening and said, oh, we didn't see your kids. And I said, we're not in town. Okay. We're not in town. Second time we didn't show up. They were like, oh, what happened? I said, oh, one day we just got there and told them that we're not coming back. And that was it. And we stopped. It was tough. It was really tough for us because we've not had to make such decisions before. But I was, you know, looking at my kids. My kids were the reason why I made that decision in the first place. If they are not getting what we wanted, then there is no need. There's no need staying. We made the decision and we went back to the old school where they were before. And you know, since then they've been doing well. So guys, I'm ready. I'm wearing my husband's shirt. This is not the first time I'm wearing his shirt. And I'm going to stop by his office. I know he's going to shout, but I have rights, and that includes his shirts. So, how do I look? Look good. That was it. He left. So they had barely started this school in less than a month, and we took them out of the school. We removed them from the school. Now the question is, what are the things that you consider before choosing a school for your kids? And that will be the next video. I think I've learned my lesson. If you watch this video to this point, you can tell that I have the experience to share this video. So I have the experience to share on things to consider before choosing a school for your kids. I actually made the mistake of not asking them about the hairstyle, and I think they should have told me. My next video will be on things to consider before picking a school. For those of you who don't have kids yet, or your kids are planning to start school in September, you don't want to miss this video. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notification so you get notified each time I put out a new video. Guys, how do I look? I'm looking simple, but not bad, not bad. I don't want to put anything under my eye. I've been having reactions, so I don't want any drama. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. You can check out my other videos, but make sure you subscribe, please. Bye.